On the move. The 3-2 pitch. Called strike three. Cubs win. He froze him with the slider. And the Cubs win 6-5. Soriano, the hero in the ninth, with a game-winning two-run homer. Marmol gets the save. What a ball game.
Whew. Take a breath. What a gutsy performance by Carlos Marmol. Had to work his way through the top and middle of this Brewers lineup and absolutely mows down Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder with that signature slider. That was a big game to come back and win, because if I was wearing one of the blue shirts and the gray pants, I wouldn't want to go in that clubhouse after the way things came unglued in that seventh inning for the Cubs.
So they're back over 500 at 3-2, and they have a chance to take the series and head home 2 games over 500. Our Lexus pursuing perfection player of the game is Alfonso Soriano.
Geez, how come? Well, that's how come. Yeah, no kidding. Pitch on the first pitch he sees from Carlos Villanueva gives the Cubs the lead that Carlos Marmol nailed down in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Nice job.
Aaron Heilman gets his first win as a Chicago Cub. Carlos Villanueva has factored into the decision in both games. He won yesterday. He lost it tonight. And Carlos Marmol gets his first save of 2009. 3 hours, 15 minutes in front of 43,768. That'll do it for our game coverage, but stay tuned. More to come. Post-game live coming up next. Once again, the final score as the Cubs come from behind in the ninth. They beat Milwaukee 6-5. Our next Cubs telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet will be Wednesday afternoon from Wrigley Field. Bob and I will hit the air at 1 o'clock against the Colorado Rockies. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob Brenly and our entire crew, this is Len Casper saying Happy Easter. And we'll send it over to Gail Fisher and Todd Hollandsworth in our Comcast Sportsnet studios.
Hi, everyone. Gail Fisher with you. Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live is coming up next. Todd Hollandsworth joins me to break down Carlos Zambrano's outing. Plus, we'll set up Ryan Dempster's outing tomorrow in the series finale. That's Cubs Postgame Live after this quick timeout.
Welcome to the stadium on a beautiful day for baseball. And folks, today,
Simplicity lawn and garden tractors are made like no other tractor in the world.
the field looks just tremendous.
With Simplicity's exclusive free-floating mower deck with full-width rollers, they can transform an ordinary grass area into a beautiful, professional-looking surface.
Ready with all the action.
Even if it's just your backyard. Simplicity, the best cut there is.
Rocking performance, exceptional control. Destination tires with Unity technology, only from Firestone.
Your kids give you more than they'll ever know. For Dada.
Here.
For Daddy.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
For Dad. For Pops. And for the love your kids give you, there's one special gift. Life insurance from New York Life ensures your loved ones will always be taken care of. With 164 years of financial strength, it's the most selfless gift you can give. New York Life, the company you keep.
If you thought Arby's was just about roast beef, then you haven't tasted our new Roast Chicken Club. It's taking chicken to a whole new level. Made with oven-roasted, all-white meat chicken to seal in the juices. Then it's freshly sliced and topped with Swiss cheese, thick-cut pepper bacon, and our one-of-a-kind chicken addiction sauce. Step up to Arby's Roast Chicken Club and give boring chicken the boot. Arby's new one-of-a-kind Roast Chicken Club. Juicy, fresh, delicious. One bite and you'll say, I'm thinking Arby's.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Menards. At Menards, you'll find big lumber yards, big selection, and big savings. Midas. We're on this road together. Go to MidasChicago.com for valuable savings. Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Toyota. See your Toyota dealer now to start saving now. This is Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live.
And a pitch to Soriano. High drive to left. Cubs lead. As you were saying. Joey Gathright didn't even have to stretch his legs.
Alfonso Soriano hits the game-winning home run in the 9th inning. Carlos Marmol gets the save as the Cubs finally get on the winning end of a one-run decision. 6-5 is your final from Milwaukee. Hello and welcome to Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live. Gail Fisher alongside Todd Hollinsworth. And Todd, we were talking about this. I guess the Cubs need to get used to close ball games. They certainly have had a few this week.
Well, nothing better than a fantastic finish right here tonight. Boy, that was exciting. It kind of made all the little bad things that were kind of happening in that game go away real quick.
Yes, we were wondering how we were going to talk about a loss. Suddenly they turn it around. Soriano with that great home run. He's been swinging the bat well all week, and of course he comes through a couple of times in this one, but the big one with the home run.
Well, he's been having big hits, and that's what we've been seeing is the long ball. The argument, the on-base percentage hasn't been there. He goes through these streaks, but you got to stay with him because this is what he does. We talked about this a couple days ago. Why we don't double switch with Alfonso Soriano. This guy is a game changer. He's still in the ball game in the 9th inning, and he just changed this game in favor of the Cubs.
Low ball, fastball, and that's what Sori likes.
And he's ready to hit, and he sees a pitch that he likes. He is going to take a good swing at it.
All right, the big difference is we did see a bullpen collapse really by both teams, but also by the Cubs earlier in the game, was Carlos Marmol coming in the 9th. A lot of speculation. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talk as to why it was Marmol. Well, Kevin Gregg had pitched a lot in the last couple of days. We don't want to read too much into it, but Marmol really comes in and gets the job done.
Well, it was good to see, and that's exactly what he needed to do. That's what this Cubs bullpen needed to see happen. With the walks, we talked about it. We've beaten a dead horse here. The 3 walks in the 7th, boy, it just got him in trouble, and he came in and shut the door. That's what everybody was hoping to see, and he came through, went through the top of their lineup, and got it done tonight.
And probably the biggest out here is Prince Fielder, because Fielder had been swinging a bat all night long, and he gets him on the strikeout.
Well, the top of their lineup really had two. Corey Hart had been on base 4 times tonight. Braun didn't swing the bat all that well tonight, but Prince Fielder really seemed to break out tonight. He got off to a little bit of a slow start, and he nailed it down.
And got the big man looking. So a great finish for the Cubs as they win it in Milwaukee, and they even up this series 1 game apiece. As for the starting pitching, okay, so maybe you didn't believe in the pre-game jinx, but pre-game live, we talked about how Zambrano dominates at Miller Park. Not his best outing there, certainly not his best outing ever, really. He took a no decision, but didn't really look sharp in this one.
Well, he was early. He didn't look sharp. I really felt like he looked good at the end. The 5th and the 6th inning, I thought he looked pretty decent, but he gave his team a chance to win, and that's a big league quality start. Both of these guys, even David Bush, threw the ball pretty well tonight. And Carlos came in tonight with a lot of expectation from us, and I'm sure the Cubs fans after the loss yesterday. He came in and dominated. I think that in that 5th and 6th inning, and he kind of kept the game close. It really could have got away from him, but he was able to control himself, keep his emotions in check, and go out there and make pitches. He seemed to really find his location those last 2 innings. 7 punch-outs tonight. And
the one guy he did seem to have trouble with was Prince Fielder. Was coming up big earlier in this game, especially against Big Z.
Well, sometimes these things happen. I mean, Prince Fielder's in the cage working a little bit harder himself. I mean, he hasn't been swinging the bat all that well. I'm sure he's probably taken a few extra swings. At the same time, a lot of times you go out there and you're working on your swing as a hitter in Prince Fielder's case, and it doesn't really have anything to do with who might be on the mound that night. He did have good at-bats against Big Z, but Big Z, he got through this game. He gave the team a quality start. He gave them a chance to win this ball game, and that's exactly what they ultimately did.
He had a home run and a couple of hits in this one. As you said, the top of this Brewers order getting to Zambrano in this game. I thought what was interesting, we discussed this while we were watching the game a little bit, is Dave Bush, not the Brewers' best pitcher, but they needed to hit him. You talked about how Bush, the one thing about him, he doesn't walk a lot of batters. He can get hit, but you got to go after him.
Well, last year he was 5th in the big leagues, 185 innings, walks and hits per innings pitched. He doesn't walk guys, and that's what it tells you. He's up there with the big boys, the All-Stars, the Cole Hamels. He does not want to walk guys, and he goes out there and does that. He did that tonight effectively. You saw the runs that this team was able to score. Kosuke Fukudome's home run, a couple string hits in a row together. That's how they were able to score these runs tonight. It wasn't by necessarily being overly patient. This guy is going to come out and throw strikes, so they needed to kind of be a little bit more aggressive. That's what they did. That's kind of how they got to him.
And if you're keeping score at home, it's Aaron Heilman who picked up the win for the Cubs for the record. Carlos Marmol picks up his first save of the season. You touched on Kosuke Fukudome, another guy in this Cubs order that had a good game. He hit the home run. This guy, it's nice to see. There was going to be a lot of scrutiny on him, especially this opening week, and he seems to have come through.
Well, he's answering the bell. There's no doubt about that. Even after the first game of the season when he went 0 for 4, what were we going to get from Kosuke Fukudome? He is sitting back. This is the most relaxed I've seen him. He's letting the ball get to him. He's turning on fastballs again. He's hitting them with authority. It really is exciting to see. I know Lewis got to be really excited, and he carried this offense for about the first 6 innings tonight. I mean, he was all that the Cubs had going.
So the offense was clicking a little bit here, and then we do have to touch on it, Todd, I know, but the bullpen is a big question. It's actually going to lead into our poll question in just a moment here, but let's talk about that in the 7th inning. It comes down to the Cubs pen. Angel Guzman comes in, and the walks that Lou Piniella can't stand and that can really hurt a ball team. That's what happened in the 7th inning. The first 3 batters take a walk.
Well, Angel, seemingly in control, seemed to lose it. He put himself in a position where, he was not able to throw strikes, and it led to that big inning.
And we're obviously looking at the Cubs' half of this 7th inning, and we were talking about as far as the Cubs pitching in that inning, the bullpen not coming through.
Well, that's a big break right there. You see Soriano right there getting a big break on that play at first, and it doesn't really seem that the Cubs have gotten a whole lot of breaks, but it really was good to see that right there. They had loaded the bases with with inability to get anybody in, and Soriano at least put the ball in play, was able to beat it out at first, and they were able to get that run in. We were talking about that in the pregame show, runners in scoring position, and really up until that point, they had not done much.
All right, well, here's the Brewers' half of that inning as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and here's Guzman coming in. And Lou is really struggling with this bullpen, not knowing who to go with when. He brings in Guzman, and here are the free passes.
Well, that's exactly what happened. He just seemed to lose it. I mean, he came in, he got Ricky Weeks to pop out, and he just kind of lost it. And as we all know, if we watch this game as closely as a lot of Cubs fans do, Lou is about ready to pop his top, I think. And
Neil Kotz gives up the free pass.
Sure.
Larry's got to come in, and then they finally go with Aaron Heilman. And, well, he's going to give up the hit here that scores the runs. These will be attributed to Guzman. But it's just a big breakdown of this bullpen once again that can't seem to get the out.
Well, it's interesting, and Lou is not happy about this, and you have to believe that Lou is going to handle this, and he's going to put a stop to it. Larry Rothschild went out to get Neil Kotz, and that should tell you something. Lou did not go out there to get him. He sent Larry out to get him, and that's a manager who knows where he is right there. He knows his personality, and he knows what's about ready to happen. So he sent his pitching coach out to go get Neil and to make that pitching change.
Well, the Cubs' eventual win in this game, and Carlos Marmol closing things out, may temper some of the heat on this pen after this game. The Cubs do pull out the win. 6-5 is your final for Milwaukee. As we head to our first break, let's check out tonight's Cubs opinion poll question. Yes, it has to do with that bullpen. How concerned are you with the Cubs pen? Not concerned at all, somewhat concerned, or very concerned? Changes are needed. Log on to csnchicago.com, then visit the Cubs team page to cast your vote. We'll have the results later on Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live.
I am the strength and you are the breath, and you will grow, become the best, and in your time find blue skies everywhere.
For generations, families have built lasting traditions with the confidence that Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois will continue to be there for all the celebrations yet to come.
Find blue skies everywhere.
Chicagoans love their pizza. That's why you come to Giordano's, some for 30 years now. we use only the finest ingredients to make Giordano's famous stuffed pizza, our equally famous thin crust pizza. Plus salads, pastas, sandwiches, and more. Come on into Giordano's and celebrate 30 great years with us. Giordano's famous stuffed pizza. We made it good, you made it famous.
I'm freezing. 212 Jackson.
Don't get burned. Call Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning at 866-4Seasons. For all the right reasons, Four Seasons.
Starting.
No marketing fluff. No ridiculous claims. Just a promise. The ride says it all. Can-Am.
Available at Tempo Marine and Sport, East Moline.
I personally chose the Excel program because I found the curriculum very challenging.
The instructors really want to see you succeed.
And we really try hard to develop a number of different kind of activities that cause the students to engage one another.
The students in the classroom are very diverse, so the conversations that we engage in are very stimulating.
This is the kind of thing that can change your life, and if you really are willing to work at it, it can make a huge difference.
St. Ambrose University Excel program, the right choice for you, your career, and your lifestyle.
Mediacom Connections Channel 22 is your local source for the complete lowdown on all the action from your very own Quad City Flames. It's the Quad City Flames between the pipes. See all the highlights from the best home games direct from the iWireless Center. All the goals, all the hits, and all the action right here on Mediacom Cable. It's Mediacom Connections Channel 22 between the pipes. Catch the show at any of these times, brought to you by these fine area sponsors.
The lineup, looking at the box score from tonight. You guys can read the numbers. We don't have to say much about Lee and Bradley just not getting much done in the 3 and 4 spots in this lineup. But what we really do want to point out is Fontenot took 3 walks today, and that really helped spark. Getting on base and scoring runs is what the Cubs need right
absolutely. He sparked that 7th inning. He was the key to that inning right there. And what you're seeing is, you know, I know in the middle of this lineup we haven't seen the production that we've expected. It's only been 5 games, but the top of the lineup has been doing a really good job, and the bottom of the lineup's been really, really solid as well. Guys are starting to work together. They're starting to gel. But the walks, when you see those walks, they're turning into runs. You fail to mention Reed Johnson's big pinch hit there in the 9th inning. That led to them winning that game. It didn't end up being a solo homer. It ended up being a 2-run homer for Soriano that obviously tied the game, put them ahead by 1. Cubs go home victorious. The lineup is starting to really, I think, come together. I think we get those guys in the middle swinging the bats a little bit better, and they get their timing. I think things are going to look really good for a long time this year.
And not a lot of talk about, who should be leading off in this and that. I suppose you could make a case for a Fontenot or a Terrio just getting on base more than a Soriano hitting the home runs. But the bottom line is it's production, and that's what you want, scoring runs and production. And Soriano, who is our Felco star of the game, is doing that for the Cubs no matter where he's hitting in this lineup.
Well, it's been the great debate here in Chicago for quite some time. Should Alfonso Soriano remain the leadoff hitter of this team? The bottom line is he can change the game from the leadoff position, and that should be just enough. You saw it tonight. You saw what he can do. He brings a big, thunderous bat to this lineup. It just happens to be at the top of the order. The on-base percentage isn't as high, but the home runs are.
And with Fontenot and Terrio batting lower in the lineup, Todd, isn't that good? Because pitchers have to pitch to them as well. It's not like you can just skate by the lower half of this Cubs lineup and then wait to get back up to Soriano. I mean, if your lineup at the bottom is just as good as the top, you're going to see a lot of good pitches.
Well, you're putting a lot of pressure on that pitcher. The lineup's rolling back over, and it's the top of the Cubs lineup. That's what you want. You want Alfonso Soriano essentially being up there with runners on base. That's where he can be extra productive. He's just not worried about getting on base. He's actually driving in runs, and he's a threat right now because he's swinging the bat so well, and he's really turning on those fastballs.
All right, let's take a look at the Brewers lineup, their box score from tonight. As we mentioned already, Zambrano struggling with a couple of these guys, Prince Fielder included. At one point, Fielder had to be your player of the game, of course, until the Cubs really turned things around. But The top of this lineup, Ron, you said is struggling. But the Brewers are coming through when they need the big hits.
Well, a little bit of that, I think, is going on. I think what you see with all of these teams is that there are some guys who are hot and some guys who aren't, and everybody's kind of trying to find their spot in the lineup and get comfortable and get acclimated. Some guys are coming out hot, some guys are cold. Prince Fielder came into this game hitting, I think, below 100.
Yes.
I had a great game tonight, and this is the process of working through, getting yourself accustomed to hitting in front of 50,000 people again, getting back out there playing every day, playing 9 innings. You know, a lot of these guys don't do a tremendous amount of that in spring training. They're just preparing themselves for the season.
Everyone's going to come around and get their swings, and that's what we hope will be the case with Lee and Bradley for the Cubs. All right, don't go away. We'll have a Giovanni Soto update. Will the Cubs catcher see action this weekend, and when will he return? Hopefully before the Cubs home opener on Monday. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You know what, I'm gonna go 2 more.
I'm in for another.
Freddie?
I don't like that face.
Wow, Webby's out.
I'm gonna put in 4 black.
Okay.
Always been on black.
I'll raise the pot. Quit acting like a baby, take your shots, and be quiet about it.
Who says old school can't go new school? ChicagoSportsWebio.com. It's a beautiful thing.
Rascal Flatts, American Living Unstoppable Tour 2009. Unstoppable. With very special guests, Vince Gill and Darius Rucker. Saturday, July 18th at Wrigley Field. Tickets are on sale now. Online at tickets.com or charged by phone at 1-800-THE-CUBS. Rascal Flatts, presented by JCPenney and US 99. Produced by Live Nation.
Hey, baseball fans, are you thinking of heading to St. Louis to see the Northsiders play? Well, think no more. Now's your chance to win great seats to the April 25th game and a one-night stay at Lumiere Place, St. Louis's premier casino and hotel. Log on to csnchicago.com and click on the Lumiere Place icon to register.
This quote of the week is brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich, in business for over 30 years. For an insurance quote for auto, home, life, or business, please call Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich at 847-825-4783.
Hey, Chicagoland, get a running start on Memorial Day weekend, Thursday, May 21st, with the JP Morgan Chase Corporate Challenge Race. Grab a few fellow employees for a fun 3.5-mile run-walk, starting in Grant Park. Registration is only $40 per person, and JP Morgan Chase will make a donation for each entry to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Help us beat last year's number of nearly 23,000 participants from almost 600 different Chicagoland companies. To join the challenge, just go to jpmorganchasecc.com.
8 out of 10 men prefer Degree fragrances over a leading Old Spice fragrance. New Degree men's deodorant. Mind-blowing fragrances.
After tomorrow, we got to come to a decision. We can't continue to carry one catcher. At the same time, Hill's got a real bad toe from being hit yesterday. So we're hurting a little bit in that position. Now, we're not trying to rush Gio back or anything else, but it's very, very difficult carrying one catcher for any extended period of time. So we're hoping that tomorrow he throws and he feels a lot more comfortable, and that at least he could be available for backup duty if necessary.
Welcome back. That was Lou Piniella talking before tonight's game about Giovanni Soto and Coy Hill now, who we find out is not 100%. He has a bum toe. Soto, with this sore right shoulder, is making some progress. He said he felt a lot better. He's going to throw tomorrow, and as Lou said, they're going to evaluate the situation from there because, Todd, they can't really keep going with just one catcher available.
Well, absolutely not, and one that's banged up at that. So they're going to have to figure out how they're going to play this out, because because they need they need a starting catcher, they need a backup catcher, and they need one to be healthy, and they need to know that the other one can at least go. And I think that's the position that they're in. They can't continue to roll the dice. This is a big risk as it is. Right now, if Coy Hill goes down, who is their catcher?
And so the option is to put Soto on the DL so that you can pick up another catcher.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they would do if that's the avenue that they feel that they need to take. At the same time, they want Gio back. If Gio is good enough to go, they want to get him back in the lineup. They want to get him back in, back for opening day and get things rolling again with him. He's losing time right now. He has not probably, he maybe has been hitting a little bit, but game time and batting practice time, he's missed a little bit of time now. So, there's a little bit of a break-in period, and you just don't want this thing to drag out if it doesn't have to.
He's missed 3 straight games now. Tomorrow will be his 4th. We know for sure he won't go tomorrow. He will throw, though, and then the Cubs will reevaluate from there as to whether or not to put Soto on the DL or let him come back, at least to back up. We'll see if he can be back for that first home series at Wrigley starting on Monday. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll talk about tomorrow's series finale, and we'll get your results. So still vote on this poll question. How concerned are you with the Cubs bullpen? Not at all concerned, somewhat concerned, or very concerned. Changes need to be made. Go to ComcastSportsNet.com. CSNChicago.com, I should say. Visit the Cubs team page to cast your vote, and we'll have the results right after this.
Every morning, catch up on everything happening in Chicago sports with Sports Rise. It's the perfect way to start your sports day. Sports Rise every morning only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Starting Monday, it's another huge week on Comcast Sportsnet. Bulls.
Throws to Gordon. Oh my goodness!
White Sox.
You can put it on the board. Yes.
Cubs.
2-2 to Lee. That's the ball game. Cubs win.
Blackhawks. Log on to CSNChicago.com for more information and game times.
Centered one, a shot, they score, that is the hat trick. Dropped it in front.
The playoffs are coming to Comcast Sportsnet.
Dad, why are we Cubs fans?
It's complicated. You wouldn't understand.
But I really want to know.
Look. This. Now this is why we're Cubs fans.
So, they have stuff for all teams. I don't get it.
I told you wouldn't understand.
Some of us may not know why we're Cubs fans, but as long as we are, there's Wrigleyville Sports, your premier source for everything Cubs.
Every weekday morning, wake up with the Monsters in the Morning.
Back after these.
Obviously, Derek is a big part of what we're going to be doing in the future.
Traffic, weather, sports, and a whole lot of fun.
As you know, we have some very beautiful women.
They want you to grant them a wish.
They want you to grant them a wish, Brady. Absolutely, my friend. It's AG. It's all good.
Monsters in the Morning, every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. White Sox baseball all season long on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Cubs baseball all season long on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Every weeknight at 5:30, only one show covers Chicago sports the right way, Chicago Tribune Live. Join host David Kaplan in a nightly roundtable with Chicago's biggest sports stars, celebrities, and journalists as they tackle every angle of the sports world.
I promise the White Sox fans, we're going to have a good team to compete. Yeah, I always say that.
I've been playing 8 years in the league, but I feel like I finally made it to the big leagues.
Chicago Tribune Live, weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Welcome back. Taking a look at our Cubs opinion poll question of the night. How concerned are you with the Cubs bullpen? Well, 60% of you are very concerned and changes are needed. 33% somewhat concerned, and 7% of you, I guess, are not concerned whatsoever. Todd, I think I fall among the 33%. I'm somewhat concerned, and the only reason I'm not very concerned is because it came with that changes are needed. And really, at this point, what can you do in terms of changes? You can shuffle the 9th inning, the closers, fine. You could put Marmol as your closer, but that's not going to solve the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings.
Well, as far as the Cubs fans are concerned, I would expect nothing less than that answer, and it really is a good answer because that means you care and that you want to see the Cubs win, and there's no doubt about that. But I fall in the somewhat concerned, and the reason I do is because I look at what I'm seeing from these guys, and they've got the stuff to get it done. They're not getting beat around the yard. Balls aren't flying all over the place. This is focus, really, more than anything. The inability to come out and throw strikes, the inability to come out and avoid the walks, it just hasn't happened yet. But is this something that can be corrected? If I were a betting man, I'm going to say Lou's going to get a hold of this real quick and make it stop.
Let's hope he does. So we have a little bit concerned with that Cubs bullpen, but they do get the win tonight. So the rubber game is tomorrow, and hopefully the Cubs can pull out another series victory to start this season. All right, let's take a look at the pitching matchup for tomorrow. It's Ryan Dempster versus Jeff Suppan. Dem took a no decision in his first outing in Houston. He pitched well before getting into some trouble after that 6th inning. Suppan, on the other hand, took a loss in just 4 innings pitched in his season debut. He gave up 6 earnings on 6 hits. Now, the one thing I guess I'm concerned about, Todd, you don't want Dempster to be that hard luck pitcher already out of the gate and not get the run support, because he really did pitch well in his previous outing. Well,
he has been throwing the ball well. He threw the ball well in spring training. I think he's going to throw the ball well tomorrow. He threw the ball well in Houston. Say it again. But that's what I'm hoping for. He's dominated this team before in the past. I know he didn't have the greatest year on the road last year. He was really, really good at home. But I'm expecting good things out of him. Why do I say that? Knowing Ryan Dempster, he is a guy who loves momentum. He knows when momentum swings happen, he capitalizes on that. He knows when a team's down, he knows how to put a team away. And the good thing about him is when he kind of gets his back against the wall, he kind of knows how to get out of that because he feels the flow of momentum. I played with him for a few years. I know an awful lot about him, but that is what he is really, really good about. And there is an awful lot of momentum coming out of this game tonight with the Soriano home run, with all the things that kind of seem to fall apart in this game, to capitalize and to walk out of that stadium, to walk out of Miller Park tonight with a victory. Ryan Dempster knows that. He's going to want to come out tomorrow, make sure that these guys are shut down. The offense hopefully will get rolling, and they have a chance to, again, win the series. And if they do win that game tomorrow and the series, you've basically won the first 2 series of the season, and that's all you can do for an entire season is just keep winning series. It puts a lot of those concerns at least at bay because the Cubs came out of the gate winning. Well, for all the questions that have been out there, I mean, Lee and Bradley, off to a little bit of a slow start here. I mean, the starting rotation's been really solid. All the questions that have been in the bullpen, you got to feel pretty good. You got a shot to coming home 4-2, knowing that you went to Milwaukee and know that you went to Houston. 2 pretty good teams. I know that they're not necessarily picked at the top, much like the Cubs, but they are 2 pretty good teams, and they've got some pretty good staffs, and they've got some pretty good hitters in both of these lineups. You're going to come home with 4 wins. That's pretty outstanding. Just to set the stage, this is the schedule for the Cubs. They've got their big home opener on Monday after finishing up in Milwaukee tomorrow. They play a 2-game set against Colorado Monday and Wednesday. They have Tuesday off, and then they've got a 4-game series against the Cardinals at Wrigley right after that. I know you like Cubs and Cardinals duking it out for this Central Division title. Are the Brewers in the discussion? Are they going to be there? Well, the question is their starting pitching going to hold up? So far, so good for them. I think that they're pretty satisfied with how things have gone. But can their starting pitching hold up? They've subtracted more than they've added. They do have an offense. If these guys click and they start hitting that long ball, they can be in this. This is a very good division this year in the National League Central, and there's going to be an awful lot of competition. I think Houston's a pretty decent team. Cincinnati's up and coming. And you know that St. Louis is always going to be there in the end. And it's interesting to note that the Cubs play 16 of their first 18 games against Central Division opponents. Is this a good or bad thing? Well, it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for all of these guys because, I mean, these games count, and they seem to count extra, especially when you're playing your arch rivals in the Cardinals. You're playing the Brew Crew, North Wrigley, and Houston is right there. I mean, this is going to be a great year. It's going to be exciting. Just like we were saying off air, I mean, it seems like we're in the middle of the season already with all the drama that we've experienced so far this season. And you can send a message early if you win these games. Oh, absolutely. If you don't win the games. Well, you have an opportunity to put yourself in a really, really good position here. Right. If you can come out and take these ball games, especially the ones on the road. This is not going to be an easy year. If everybody thought that the Cubs were going to show up and waltz through this season and find themselves in the playoffs, Well, you better buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride.
All right, our next Cubs telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet comes on Wednesday, Game 2 of the Colorado series. The Cubs have Tuesday off, of course. For Todd Hollinsworth, I'm Gail Fisher. Thanks for watching. Luke Stuckmeyer and Chris Bowden bring you Sports Night next. Until then, have a great night.
Incredible.
Daisies in every color. No way. Cyclamen in purple?
Spring starts at Lowe's. Come see our enormous selection of plants and flowers specially selected for your area.
Are those geraniums?
And it's all at everyday low prices, guaranteed. Lowe's, let's build something together.
Come into Lowe's and get Bonnie's 5-inch vegetable and herb plants, now $3.48.
Chicagoans love their pizza. That's why you come to Giordano's, some for 30 years now. We use only the finest ingredients to make Giordano's famous stuffed pizza, our equally famous thin crust pizza, plus salads, pastas, sandwiches, and more. Come on into Giordano's and celebrate 30 great years with us. Giordano's famous stuffed pizza. We made it good, you made it famous.
I'm freezing. 212 Jackson.
Don't get burned. Call Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning at 866-4SEASONS. For all the right reasons, Four Seasons.
You know what? I'm gonna go 2 more.
I'm in for another.
Freddie?
I don't like that face.
Wow, Webby's out.
I'm gonna put in 4 black.
Okay.
Always been on black.
I'll raise the pot. Quit acting like a baby, take your shots, and be quiet about it.
Who says old school can't go new school? ChicagoSportsWebio.com. It's a beautiful thing.
Rascal Flats, American Living Unstoppable Tour 2009. Unstoppable. With very special guests, Vince Gill and Darius Rucker. Saturday, July 18th at Wrigley Field. Tickets are on sale now. Online at tickets.com or charged by phone at 1-800-THE-CUBS. Rascal Flats, presented by JCPenney and US 99. Produced by Live Nation.
8 out of 10 men prefer Degree fragrances over a leading Old Spice fragrance. New Degree men's deodorant. Mind-blowing fragrances.
Hey, I'm Aaron Miles from the Chicago Cubs. You're watching Comcast Sportsnet.
Coming up on Sports Night.
It was an historic night for Carlos Zambrano the last time he pitched in Milwaukee.
No hitter!
So just how would his follow-up act be?
Took something off that one.
Great sign for us because, you know, we're going to need him.
Bartolo Colon made his official return to the South Side as the Sox seek revenge on the Twins. They already know they're in, but the Bulls are looking to climb up the playoff ladder. And the Hawks face off with their age-old rivals in Hockeytown.
And that's my ring on my phone.
It's time to dial up Sports Night. Now.
This is Sports Night, presented by Dex.
The 3-2 from Zambrano. Swing on this. No hitter. A no hitter. Carlos Zambrano with a no hitter.
The last time Carlos Zambrano pitched in Miller Park, he threw the Cubs' first no-no since 1972, shutting down the homeless Houston Astros. So what would Big Z do for an encore? Hello and welcome to Sports Night presented by Dex with Luke Stuckmeyer. I'm Chris Bowden. Cubs looking to rebound from yesterday's 9th inning meltdown.
Yeah, Zambrano beat those same Astros on opening day in Houston. Tonight, he wasn't focused on a no-hitter, just a 2-0 start to his season, and hopefully no meltdown. Big Z working with an 18 1/3 inning scoreless streak in Miller Park. Bottom of the second, runner on second. And Big Z getting Dave Bush to the tapper. Here, Zambrano makes a nice play and gets the out. Scoreless streak now at 20 1/3. Bottom three, 2 out. Prince Fielder, and that is gone. Scoreless streak at Miller Park ends at 21 innings. Brewers lead 2-0. Top of the fourth, Cubs finally get to Dave Bush. Kosuke Fukudome, a drive to right, and that's a solo shot just in fair territory. Second homer of the season. Kosuke's on fire, 2-1. Bottom four, Brewers come right back. Ricky Weeks singles up the middle, and Bill Hall comes in to score. 3-1 Brewers. The top of the sixth, Alfonso Soriano on second. Fukudome with a shot down the first base line. Soriano scores easily. Double for Kosuke. He gets to third on an error, and it's 3-2.
He's your best hitter right now.
He's one of the best hitters, for sure. Top of the seventh, Cubs threatening again. Bases loaded, nobody out, but Bush strikes out Micah Hoffpower, who was pinch hitting one away. Then after a pitching change, Mark DeFelice facing Soriano, and Soriano grounds to short. Brewers get an out. Soriano beats the play at first. Tied at 3 in Milwaukee, but that's all the Cubs would get in the inning. Go to bottom of the seventh. Cubs bullpen now on the hook. Angel Guzman walks Corey Hart. Next batter, Ryan Braun. He's walking down to first. Lou Piniella.
He loves that.
Oh, he's not happy, I can guarantee you that. Replaces Guzman with Neil Kotz. Neil Kotz walks Prince Fielder to load the bases. Lou won't even come out this time. He's sending Larry Rothschild to get Kotz, and it's Aaron Heilman getting J.J. Hardy to single up the middle. Well, that's not what he wanted. And those runs go to Guzman. Hardy giving the Brewers the 5-3 lead. In the eighth, Cubs get a run back. Aramis Ramirez takes DeFelice deep to left, and yeah, it's out. Solo homer. Cubs down by 1. It's only 5-4 now. Top of the ninth, 1 on, 1 out, and Soriano with the dish.
Soriano, high drive to left. Cubs lead.
Wow, the dugout loves it. Soriano giving the Cubs a 6-5 lead. And they take it going into the bottom of the ninth. And look who's coming in to close. It's Marmol, Carlos Marmol. 2 outs, man at first, and Prince Fielder goes down swinging. Marmol gets him right there. Cubs win 6-5. Heilman gets the win, and Marmol gets the save. What a difference a year makes for Alfonso Soriano. Last April, he struggled hitting just .192 with 2 homers all month. He already has 3 homers in the first week this year. Soriano's slugging percentage at .600. Here's our Cubs analyst Todd Hollinsworth on the Cubs star slugger.
He's been having big hits, and that's what we've been seeing is the long ball. The argument, the on-base percentage hasn't been there. He goes through these streaks, but you got to stay with him because this is what he does. We talked about this a couple days ago, why we don't double switch with Alfonso Soriano. This guy is a game changer. He's still in the ball game in the 9th inning, and he just changed this game in favor of the Cubs.
All right, thanks, Todd. Here's an injury update on Cubs catcher Giovanni Soto. The Cubs say he may throw and test his injured shoulder tomorrow. Soto felt much better today. He has missed the last 3 games after coming out of Tuesday night's game in Houston. To make matters worse, Coy Hill's banged up too. He has a sore toe, and right now, he's the only catcher for Lou.
After tomorrow, we've got to come to a decision. We can't continue to carry one catcher. At the same time, Hill's got a real bad toe from being hit yesterday. So we're hurting a little bit in that position. Now, we're not trying to rush Gio back or anything else, but it's very, very difficult carrying one catcher for any extended period of time. So we're hoping that tomorrow he throws and he feels a lot more comfortable, and that at least he could be available for backup duty if necessary.
All right, tomorrow it's Ryan Dempster against Jeff Suppan in the series finale. Dempster was solid in his first start of the season, but ended up with a no decision in Houston. He threw 6 innings, gave up 2 runs while striking out 5.
I wonder what flavored gum Lou has there. It looks good watching him